Alright everyone, so this week I did not do as much of a serious topic, like the social justice things that we normally do, but this caught my attention about talking about K-pop groups because I know it's really popular, especially with like middle school students and like high school students, with like the youth these days. And I also really like it too. So I was looking at what the typical audience size of a K-pop group might be, and so I was looking at information from Spotify about the number of monthly listeners that the most popular groups had. So I did a rough stem and leaf plot here, but you can see how spread out the data is, and the mean is like past almost all the data, so it wasn't really representative, but the median was fairly. Um, so in my analysis here, I also looked at the outliers when I did my box plot because I didn't even finish it. I couldn't even go off because it was so long. So that brings me to getting rid of the outliers. So what if we remove those two outliers? So BTS and Blackpink were really popular. They each had about 16, 17 million monthly users, and the next highest one was only about 3 million users. So they definitely skewed the data there. So once again, for center, talk about median and mean. I also looked at mode a bit in this histogram. Looking at most of my groupings, they were all fairly similar. Or if I grouped them, there's one way I could have grouped them where they're all pretty much would have had 3 groups in each bin. But most of them were in the 1.3 to 1.9 million listeners per month range. And for spread, I also looked at the MAD scores a bit, and I put that onto my box plot. So the IQR isn't too spread, but when I looked at my MAD score, so away from the mean, it was about 450,000 or so away from the mean. And so I thought that was pretty similar to the IQR, so it wasn't very spread. But it still skewed a bit to the right, so I thought the median was still a bit better of a representation there. And to conclude, I think the median still from the second data set, taking away the outliers, is better. You can see how the popularity of some groups and how they rise really affects the data there.